Hello, and welcome to Leading Inspired Learning, a Strive podcast.
Welcome to Leading Inspired Learning, a Strive podcast. I'm Ally, and your host for today's episode, and I am so thrilled to welcome Stevie Bees in the hot seat. So we are going to learn all about Stevie today, your life, your journey, your work that we're so excited to share about. And I will start by saying Stevie's session, live and in person, Trans 101, is coming up on Tuesday, March 31st. We're hosting this at Reimagine Co. downtown on Piccadilly Street, and it's an incredible session. There's no dumb questions.
Nope.
Come as you are. We are going to learn everything we need to know about the trans community to best support our early years community in that session. So we won't talk too much about all the wonderful things we're going to talk about there today, but we're going to encourage folks to attend that session. Welcome, Stevie.
Thank you very much for having me
here. You want to tell us about yourself?
Well, that's always like the hardest question right off the bat. So I'm an activist. I've been an activist for, I think probably 5 years at this point.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think like when my youngest was born, because that's when I found that I might not be a woman.
Yeah.
I've been doing activism. Before that, I've been a medical secretary. I've also done admin work. And a couple years ago, I went back to school and did addictions and mental health.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, most of my career is based on activism in some way, shape, or form, and finding a way to hustle that.
Oh, yeah. So you are a born and raised London?
Yep.
You're local here?
Yep. I was born in St. Joe's.
Amazing.
Yep.
That's so great. And so life in London, childhood, how was that for you?
I had a pretty privileged and normal childhood.
Yeah.
By normal,
Yes. Yeah.
you know.
What is normal?
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
I didn't think anything was out of the ordinary. I definitely struggled to make friends. And looking back, that could have been either my non-binary identity or autism. But yeah, I mean, I did like extracurriculars. I had felt pretty normal. My parents are still together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I didn't really want for anything. I didn't,
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah. But I really struggled to make friends, especially girlfriends. I did not fit in, and I tried so hard. And it
Felt
took
like you had to kind of conform?
Yeah. I tried to fit into other people's boxes of like what I was supposed to be and look like and act. And I definitely didn't fit. I hung out with guys mostly, but it didn't really fit there either.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't until after I had my second kid and really struggled with breastfeeding and the dysphoria around breastfeeding, that I was like, like there's something here. Like there's got to be more. But I didn't have the visibility and the representation until after I had two kids to understand what that was. And I actually, a friend of mine from elementary school who also struggled to fit in had figured it out before me, and I was following their journey.
Okay.
And their journey through top surgery and being trans-masc non-binary. And I finally had that visibility, and I reached out to them and I said, I know we haven't spoken in a really long time, but like I have all these questions. And they're like, well, you're not really supposed to ask these questions.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, but like I think that I might also be like this. And so it was like a huge tonal shift, and it was like, oh, okay. So yeah, they talked me through it, and I thought that I was being super stealth about it by like, dropping hints around my husband and like trying to see if I was going to be safe to come out around him.
Right.
I wasn't as stealth as I thought, because I found out on a podcast later that like he was like, yeah, we all already knew. So yeah, I only found that out like recently on a podcast where he and I both got asked on, and he was like, yeah, it was obvious. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh. Love you too, hon.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a really cool journey. He has been super supportive and awesome, and switched immediately to using pronouns, but then also like switched to using like more masculine terms for me, like terms of endearment and things like that. Like I get dude a lot now. And he's just been so supportive in that way, and like making sure that I feel affirmed.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And to a point where like now it's been 5 years of me as Stevie, and we're actually renewing our vows in May. So yeah, it'll be our 10-year anniversary of being married. And we didn't do a wedding the first time. We did the city hall thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, now we are doing a whole big shindig wedding. We booked the Children's Museum.
That's so fun.
Right? I'm so excited about it.
Your kids are gonna love that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So like the theme is safe space, and
beautiful.
we're like doing like customized star shows, and yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Oh my gosh, I want to score myself an invite to
right?
that. It's gonna
I get that a lot.
We're best friends now.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you talked about having your second child, breastfeeding, and that was really what was like the light bulb moment for you?
Yep. So I breastfed my first for about 6 weeks, and I really, really struggled. And usually if you can so I've done doula work as well. So like usually if you can get past that 6-week hump, then you're probably doing pretty good. Yeah. But I couldn't get past that 6-week hump, and I didn't have any friends with kids at that time. I didn't really have any like support system or anything like that other than my parents. And so I reached out to my parents, and I was like, we just got to go get formula like right now. Like I can't do this.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, I did that with my first, and then with my second, it was during COVID. So like I had all the time to be alone and figure it out if I wanted to figure it out. And my husband worked from home because COVID.
Yeah.
So I had the support system at that time, and I was like, I'm gonna stick it through.
Yeah.
And about like, I would say like 2 months in, I was like, this is like, I really feel fulfilled and like nourishing my baby. I feel really good, but like I'm really struggling with like my boobs.
Yeah.
And I stuck it out for 2 more years after that. But during that time, I was doing the groundwork for getting myself top surgery.
Okay.
So I went to my doctor first, and he said no.
Oh.
Yeah, that's another story.
Okay. Oh my.
Yeah, he was fresh out of school and didn't feel comfortable. Like he hadn't had a trans patient before. He didn't really know. Like he was really good about using my pronouns and using the name that I'd chosen for myself, but he didn't feel confident in the systems navigation part. And so he basically said, no, I'll refer you to a psychiatrist. And then if they feel confident with that, like you can go ahead.
Just hoop after hoop.
Yeah. So I waited a year for that psychiatrist appointment, and they were very confused why I was there, honestly. It turned out to be an addictions program. Yeah, so like I had mentioned in passing to my family doctor that I tried weed and was opening up new pathways in my brain and thinking about things, and I feel like I probably, came to terms with being trans because I, did THC and whatever. But he put on the referral, tried weed is now trans, and sent me to an addictions clinic.
My goodness.
Yeah. So don't do that.
Yeah.
So I waited a year for that appointment and found out that I was like in the wrong place. They were very confused why I was there. And I was like, well, I mean, it's been a year. I'm pretty confident that I'm trans at this point. I really don't want to see a psychiatrist, but like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I ended up having, like, I just posted on social media. I was just like, this is like the journey so far. This is where I'm going. And I have a friend who is a plastic surgeon who jumped in and said, I will make your referral. And I know that I'm very privileged to have been in that position, and that isn't the norm for most trans people. Systems navigation is a real thing. And it took me 2 years to get to a point where I could access my top surgery.
Wow.
So I breastfed all the way up until the night before my mastectomy.
I got goosebumps.
I know.
I breastfed both my babies too. So I feel that.
Yeah. I have pictures of the last time and everything.
Yes.
Like
it made me cry. I just
Sorry.
stopped. No, it's good.
Cry away. It's all
I
good.
know.
It's
All
a safe
emotions
place.
are good. Yeah, I breastfed both my children for 18 months each, and with my first, I did not want to stop. He was ready. I was not. With my second, I very much felt like, okay, I'm ready for my own body to be my own body again after being pregnant and then giving birth and breastfeeding twice. I was like, okay, I'm ready. But I also took pictures and videos of the last few times when I knew it was coming to an end. And it is, for anyone going through that, it is beautiful and heartbreaking and devastating and wonderful. And it's such a mix of emotions. So goosebumps all over. Good for you.
She was comfort nursing
Yes.
like at the end. So like the night before we took like some pictures and I still have those pictures. And then the next day I had to get up really early and go to the surgical center. And when I came back, my daughter was pissed.
Like, hey, where's my comfort boobs?
It took like
bless.
a week for her to like just come to terms with it. I don't recommend anybody do this. But like this is what worked for us.
Yes.
We were having a really hard time weaning her anyway. So yeah, there was nothing left for her anymore.
Nope.
And no, she's fine. But like she tactile slept for a long time, so that's what worked for us.
Yeah.
And honestly, we still sometimes co-sleep because she doesn't sleep through the night. And, you know, maybe I did lasting damage. Who knows?
You know what? That's for their future psychologists to figure out.
I'll pay for therapy.
That's a future problems.
Yep.
That's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's fine. She is a typical COVID kid. You know, the ones that wear the princess dresses and tiaras and to school every day.
Yep.
And yep. That's her.
Amazing.
She got tutus for her birthday January 10th was her birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So she got a bunch of tutus for her birthday. So she's got one for every day of the week now.
Oh, perfect. So she's set. She's got the wardrobe. Yep. Amazing.
She wears a tiara to school every single day.
So do you think that your experience and navigating your experience of your top surgery while breastfeeding, actively having kids, has that shifted your parenting?
I don't think so. I think the only thing that really shifted for me was how I approach gender norms for them.
Okay.
So I let them lead. Now, my COVID princess is clearly COVID princessy and, you know, tutus everywhere and tiaras everywhere and must wear it to leave the house. And that's fine.
Yeah.
If at any point she, you know, wants to change things up, that's cool. If she wants to change things up, but like still wear tutus and tiaras, that's cool.
Yeah.
My oldest is a little more reserved. She's also autistic. And she has a PDA profile like me. So we're both pathological demand avoidant.
Okay.
Which is, it's a beast. We had to like attend a seminar to figure out like how are we going to like support her the best and how are we going to parent her this way? Because I know that I have a PDA profile, but like I didn't know how to parent one.
Right.
So that was a beast in itself. That's another podcast.
Yeah, and honestly, we've got multiple episodes, so
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I do think that she is a little more gender diverse, but like we don't talk about it. We don't, you know, we just let them lead. Yeah. And I'm just really excited for them that like they have that ability to play around with like an informed parent. And I'm just really excited for them to figure out who they are.
Yeah. I love that. I hope that we're coming to a place in society and in the world where we are letting children just figure it out at their own pace. My son is 4.5. He's in JK, COVID baby. He is wanting to grow his hair long, which I love. I love myself a man bun, especially on a little tiny man. So absolutely. I am all for it. And I said, but it's getting to a point where it's in his eyes and that's annoying him. So I'm like, okay, well, why don't we put some clips in or a pony or a headband or something? And he's like, no, Mom, that's for girls. So I'm like, okay. He is also the boy who wears tutus to Hemans when we go shopping in the summer. He is also the boy who, like, just, he is who he is. And so we've never really encountered where he's said, oh, no, that's a girl thing or that's a boy thing. It's always been just an open conversation. And it kind of took me back because I didn't know if this is like friend school pressures now, that sort of thing. So I was like, okay, I mean, it's your body. You do what you want with your hair. His little sister, my daughter, has very little hair. She's almost 2. And just has enough for little tiny ponies now, which is like my favorite thing in the entire world. So she's wanting ponies in her hair. And now he says he wants ponies in his hair. So I'm like, great, let's do ponies. So I will, most of our mornings right now consist of us putting ponies in. They have to be pink. Mm-hmm. His favorite color has been pink his entire life. Now Scotty's favorite color, her favorite color is pink too. And we have to put pink ponies in, and then we have to turn on Pink Pony Club and dance to it.
Of course.
And so that's how our mornings are. The moment I have all the videos of it. But that for him, now he's fine to wear ponies to school and keep his hair out of his face. So it's interesting that like how early these social norms, which have never been brought up in our household, but are brought up at school. But now he was okay. Like now we're a few months into school. Now he's okay with wearing it.
Yep.
And I hope for your children and my children that we're at a place where that is accepted. So I'm wondering how we tie that in to like our children's teachers, their early childhood educators, if they were in child care or their home care providers or whatever care they were in when they weren't cared for by us. How do we know or how do we hope that those are the kind of spaces where our children are free to explore that type of thing? Like, what is your hope for your children?
I honestly think that the teachers are good. The teachers are fine. They don't typically bring beliefs into the classroom, I find, in my experience. The only thing is like you have no idea what those kids are going home to. And that's where we have that issue. A couple weeks ago, we have a rule at our school where you don't park in the circle. Whoops, where we don't park in the circle because the bus parks there.
Yeah.
And we had a parent who continued to do it. And we have a female bus driver. Now she is like tough as nails. I wouldn't cross her, but this guy decided to. He was driving like a Charger and parked in the circle every single day and flipped her off.
Oh.
Yeah. And he got out of his car and my husband and I happened to be there and jumped in front of her and we were called the F slur and all kinds of stuff and it was nasty. It was dealt with really quickly. The principal was awesome about it. But that guy's kid is in my daughter's class. And my daughter's teachers were like, listen, we've never heard anything like that in here. We're very quick to like stomp it out. But I mean, that kid's going home to that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the teachers. The teachers are mostly progressive. They don't get into like helping bring up kids to raise them to be little like
yeah, I hope not.
So I mean I think that it's just, other kids and what they're coming to and not every parent is a jerk. They just aren't on the same page as we are sometimes. And some people will say, ponytails are for girls. Yeah. And even if that's, we know that's not true. We know that anybody can wear a ponytail.
Yeah,
like
it's hair.
Yeah, they're not checking your gender at the door when you go to the hair salon. Like, I don't know how we can mitigate that other than like bringing in like literature and representation and visibility into the classroom.
You mentioned literature. You're holding something there.
I am.
Want to tell us about it?
Yes, I wrote a book.
You did.
I wrote a book, and it took me 2 years of querying publishers to get to where we are. And after 2 years of querying publishers, I decided I didn't like it anymore, so I rewrote it.
So this is version 2?
This is version 2.
Okay.
This is version like 1.5.
Okay.
So it's all the same. So it started as an alphabet book, and we were like going to put it in like kindergarten classrooms and things like that. And we were giving kids like real world examples for how to show up, how to be a safe space. And it's not gendered. There's nothing in there that's like, this is how you support transgender people or whatever. Like this is across all marginal communities. It will teach everything. So this is just like how you approach being a safe space. And originally it was supposed to be an alphabet book, and I queried with it for, I think, 18 months. And then at the end of that, I really didn't like it anymore.
Oh my gosh.
I did like all this work, all this legwork, trying to explain it to publishers, and it wasn't hitting. So I sat with my illustrator, who did an amazing job and made me honestly fall in love with it over and over. I sat with my illustrator, and she said, like, what, like, tell me your favorite children's book. And my favorite children's book was a Dr. Seuss called To Think That I Saw It on Mulberry Street.
Okay. I'm familiar.
Yeah.
But isn't Dr. Seuss canceled now?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
He's dead, so whatever.
Yeah, true.
That was my favorite book growing up. And my parents, well, like when my mom read it to me, she would read it, but like leave the end open so that I could fill in the words.
Yes.
So like To Think That I Saw It on, and then I would fill in Mulberry Street.
Yeah, I love that.
I really wanted my book to be interactive like that. So I knew that we needed to add something in repetitive enough that kids could fill in that blank. So it can be done on the last line of every verse. The whole thing is written in what's called anapestic tetrameter, which is Dr. Seuss's meter that he invented. He wrote rhymes to the sound of the engine on the boat when he came over. So that's how.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
that was my like info dump.
I love it.
Yeah. So he wrote an anapestic tetrameter, and we like went and did a bunch of research and like how do we write in this meter, and we rewrote everything to fit the meter. And so that's why when you read it to your kids, it feels familiar. It feels like a comforting, like warm hug. Like this book is to heal the inner child. I mostly wrote this for like me and people like me who needed something to read to their kids, but it's going to feel more like it's for you. And trying to explain that to a publisher is like the hardest thing.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the publisher that we ended up finding hadn't even read the book. She just wanted us because she followed us online. And then when I showed her what we had, and this was after I had rewritten it, she was like, yeah, done. Easy. So yeah, we did a Kickstarter to fund the print just because it's a small publisher and we wanted to help her out a little bit. So I think we left it open for 60 days because we weren't sure if we were going to be able to hit our milestone. We needed to raise $10,000. Okay. We did it in less than 48 hours.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that was really cool.
That's so cool.
I didn't know that like it would happen, let alone like that there would be that much support. So we didn't need to have it open for 60 days. We ended up raising 15,000 for it. So we actually got a profit off of our Kickstarter.
Amazing.
That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
We put it into like some other products and things like that. We have a coloring book that's going to come out too. And there's also, I'll have to send this to you after, but we have, I shouldn't say we, my illustrator developed a teacher packet to go with this. So it has like handouts and things that you can print off and give to your classroom.
Yes.
There's like, you know, what does your safe space look like? And you
Some
know,
prompts.
yeah. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, great resource.
I'll definitely send that to you.
Please. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And the back of the book, we have resources as well, just to talk like, how do we have this conversation with our kids about like allyship and boundaries and consent. So we've got like some prompts back there. We've got some like examples for like how to have this conversation with your kids. We also made the decision to keep it hardbound. We wanted a hard cover just because I want this to stand up to classrooms and libraries and being a kid's favorite book, being a parent's favorite book. We want this to be like baby shower gifts, like things like that. We wanted this to be really special. So we checked with a whole bunch of printers because we like, you can get children's books printed almost anywhere.
Right.
But we really wanted to have the quality stand up to the test of time. So for that reason, we had to go with a printer in China, which is why it's taken so long to fulfill our Kickstarter, just because we have very high standards for this book, and we weren't willing to compromise those standards.
Nor should you.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's coming. The Kickstarter books should be fulfilled within the next like 2 weeks or so. Pre-orders are open on my publisher's website, Barnstormer Publishing, and hopefully soon it will be available in like more distributors. Like it should be available in Ingram. It should be available in Chapters. Should be available like most like your indie bookstores can order it.
So good.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you want to read your favorite letter?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
My favorite letter is Y. And there isn't a really good, like, I mean, they're all good.
They're all good.
They're all good. But this one happens to be my favorite. So not all of our friends have the same starting line. They're not on the same track or they fall far behind. But Yvonne isn't counting. Take as long as you need. She knows we all learn at our very own speed. Yvonne is a safe space for all to succeed.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. That's
it's
my
so
favorite
beautiful.
one.
And we were chatting a little bit about this, but I do think that's so applicable to our work as early childhood educators, because there is this idea that children need to do things on certain timelines.
Yeah.
So this letter just speaks to, you know, parents or families or educators who they're 16 months and they're not walking. It's a problem. Is it though?
There's no behind or ahead or anything.
Right.
Your kid is on your own kid's timeline.
Yeah.
There is no, like, you don't need to compare them to someone else. No. You don't need to, you know, Jimmy's kid is walking and running and climbing stairs. Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah. I'm really, really happy for Jimmy's kid. My kid isn't doing that yet, and that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I really don't want to chase them up the stairs.
Exactly. Yeah, trust me, you want them to not walk as long as possible.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted.
Exactly. They're all going to do the things that they need to do on their own timeline.
And so I do think that it is a longer book. It's beautifully, and in the way it's written, like even just hearing you speak it is just so beautiful. But you were saying too, even for like kindergarten classrooms or preschool classrooms, to do them like a letter at a time.
Yep.
There's so much to unpack within each letter that there you go. There's 26 days of books and exploration and learning and growth and creating these safe spaces. It's such a beautiful thing. I love it. Yeah. So we will definitely be getting a copy or two for the Resource Center as soon as they're available. We are going to go on and pre-order immediately because they're just such a wonderful resource. I love that you didn't rush it.
Yeah. I'm a instant gratification person. So it was very difficult to take my time and do this properly. But I had an idea and I wanted to do it the right way. And I don't regret anything. I know that it took a really long time to get here. I think the first year I didn't tell anybody about it just because I was like I was going to try and surprise my following and things like that.
Yeah.
But I suck at secrets, so that didn't work. But yeah, I'm really proud that I didn't compromise any of my values for this. I wanted the quality to stand up. I wanted the story to stand up. I wanted all of it to last and stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super proud of this.
You should be. It's beautiful. I as soon as Stevie walked in the room, I actually probably ripped
Yep.
the books out of your hands. I was like, oh, it's here. I want to see it in real life. It is just gorgeous. It's a work of art. Congratulations.
Thank you. There are two recommendations on the back. So I wrote a little blurb for parents. But also we have the Lavender Librarian has written an inscription for the back, and Georgia Tennant has also written on the back as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you're an author. You're an activist. Okay, in your little bio, we talked about sending shirts to celebrities.
Yes.
Like, I need to know more about that.
Okay. So this, my hustle as a t-shirt salesperson was actually an accident. I made a graphic for social media that said, "You will have to go through me," and I put it in the trans colors, or the colors of the trans flag.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I did a graphic that said, "You can't erase us." And I made these graphics available and I put them on my social media. And my boss at the time, I was working at a therapist's office as an admin person. And my boss said, "I want that on a t-shirt." And we happened to have the ability to do that from a previous hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So we made that happen. And when they wore it and shared pictures of themselves on social media, other people asked for those shirts. So we cobbled together a quick little website where you could purchase the original "You Will Have to Go Through Me" t-shirt, "You Can't Erase Us" for trans people, and we also put "Protect Trans Kids" because we wanted one that was like a little bit less confronting in case people didn't feel comfortable outing themselves as an ally or as a trans person. And then pretty shortly after that, we came out with "Gender Affirming Care Saves Lives," and they're all in the exact same style, so they're recognizable.
Yeah.
This is like right fresh when like TikTok was starting to become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the influencers with larger followings would put their PO boxes in their bio.
I love it.
And so I would anonymously send them these shirts.
Yeah.
And
so great.
The reason I kept it anonymous is because I didn't want to out myself firstly. I didn't want them to put it on and it be performative.
Mm-hmm.
So they would get this t-shirt in the mail. If they believed in it, they would wear it. And now I still do it anonymously, but most people recognize them anymore.
Right.
So like someone will say, "Oh, that's a Stevie Bees shirt." And like I have 31,000 followers all over the internet, and there's gonna be some cross pollination at some point. So like people see them usually before I see them anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it started, and I stayed true to the brand. Like I didn't make a whole bunch of different designs with different whatever.
Yeah.
I stuck true to those designs so they would be recognizable. And then I decided after like going for like small fish for a while that I was going to try and go for a celebrity. So I sent one of each of our designs to David Tennant. He has a public PO box. And I didn't think anything more of it. I didn't plan for anything to happen. I didn't speak to him. I didn't anything.
Yeah.
And he wore it to his kid's pride. And Georgia posted a picture of him wearing the "Go Through Me" shirt, which has now been dubbed on the internet forever as the David Tennant t-shirt.
Oh my God.
So like we've obviously done an homage to that on the homepage of our website. It's just called the David Tennant t-shirt now.
Hilarious.
but yeah, Georgia shared it. Georgia actually responds to like my Instagram messages now, so I can
You're
send
like besties.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
So
I
cool.
try really hard not to bother her because I could probably be a little bit much sometimes.
No.
But yeah, it turned out, you know, he wore that and we did $50,000 worth of sales in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it went a little bit nuts. And we were able to put away $10,000 of that to the Grayson Jones Memorial Scholarship. Grayson was also an activist here from Windsor, actually. And yeah, so he lived in London for a while. I believe he was in Halifax at the time of his passing, which was a result of transphobic violence. And when you read the book, G is dedicated to Grayson, so he's in there too.
He's in there too.
Yeah.
I think it is important to say out loud that it is scary. It's a scary time to be like a queer person, to us LGBTQIA+, to be a minority in any capacity. It is terrifying right now. So I so appreciate you being you and being here and talking about this and persevering through the scariness for the betterment of the entire trans community, because I don't know and I will never know. But my natural inclining when anything gets hard and scary for me is to like pull the blanket up over my head. So I imagine there are folks who are like, blanket time. But you cannot erase us means it needs to be talked about. We need to have these conversations for every single one of those children in our programs. We don't know who they are going to grow up to be. And we need to be able to be the best educators we can be, people we can be, parents we can be, so that those children can have a safe place, a safe space to grow up in. And I think you were saying in your journey, you didn't really know who to look to or where that support was. And I know it could be terrifying. I'm sure you receive all kinds of horrible and nasty and awful things on a regular. I mean, that one parent in the schoolyard is just one tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
How can we protect trans kids? How can we protect queer kids? How can we do better as the grown-ups, the educators, the parents for these children?
Be visible safe spaces. Because unless you show that you care, they are not outing themselves. They are not coming to you. I have heard testimonials from all over the world that, you know, I try really hard to be humble about this, but I also think it's important to talk about that, like, there are people that have said, like, I didn't kill myself today because I saw that I had a safe space in you. And I think that's really important. So while a lot of trans activists try really hard not to make t-shirts because of the temporary nature of them, which I can absolutely agree with and understand, sometimes it is so necessary. And seeing them in like normal circumstances, like don't go to a rally and wear your like, yes, obviously wear them for those, but wear them every day. Yeah. Wear them to, we have a joke within my following that a lot of people from my following find each other in airports because they wear the shirts in airports. So like they're like, you know, going like one way and someone's going another way, but they'll see another shirt in the airport.
I love that.
So like wear them to like normal places. Wear
not
them
just on Pride.
Exactly.
To the parade. No, that's not the day.
Yeah. It's super cool when we see them on parade day, but we see people in numbers on parade day. So like, I don't really care what you wear. You can wear whatever you want to the parade. And as long as you're there, I know you're an ally. we want to see safe spaces and visible safe spaces outside of, you know, where we expect performative people to show up.
Yeah.
I want to see my shirt in an airport. I want to see my shirt in the grocery store. I want to know that I am walking amongst safe spaces elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, showing up for kids in that way, showing them that, like, that visibility is there in places where they don't expect to see it. That's what we need to do to show up for these kids.
I think that's a really important and difficult, I think something that educators really do struggle with is this, when is it, I feel like I'm being performative. If I put a sticker in the window of my classroom, if I put, you know, the t-shirt on one day, am I doing it? Is it performative? Am I doing it because people struggle with that. And I think that's one of those types of like no dumb questions things that you'll encounter at your session coming up too, is like, is it okay that I know I'm not queer. Can I put the sticker in my window? Like, people aren't sure.
You can if you walk the walk.
Right.
You can if you walk the walk. Don't put it up to be performative. And sometimes we can't tell the difference. Right. But you can tell the difference if they're being a safe space, if they've, you know, done the work. If a queer person comes up to you and says, like, actually that's not safe, and you double down and say, no, I was told that it's a safe thing to do, then, you know, you're challenging whether or not you're being a safe space. But if you can listen to the marginalized communities and show up in the way that we ask you to, in the way that we need you to, wear the shirt, put up the sticker. Yeah. Like, if you can walk the walk, that's what we need. We need visible safe spaces.
Absolutely.
But, like, it's important to me that I don't just put the shirts out there. It's important that I give the education along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've had a lot of conversation about it in our office, and we have a sticker up, and we feel we are actively trying to walk the walk, and we are not perfect. We don't ever pretend to be. We're learning every single day and unlearning every single day. And
me too. It's not a secret that, like, nobody is perfect. Yeah. And I make mistakes, and very publicly, and very,
with 30 some odd million followers or whatever.
It's embarrassing, but if you own it, like, it's important to show people that, you know, what it looks like to make a mistake and come back from it. So it's important to me that when I make a mistake and I'm educated, that I make a big public apology. Right. And take accountability for my mistake and say that I will do better going forward, and then I actually have to do better going forward. So I think it's you know, nobody's perfect. No. And even within the trans community, like, I make mistakes. I misgender people. It happens. Yeah. It's important to remember that, like, mistakes are okay as long as you take accountability for them and come back from them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably the most common one we hear is folks are afraid to use any pronouns because they're afraid to misgender someone. And I think that, like you said, mistakes happen. And the other thing is, if you don't know what the pronouns are, you have to ask. Mm-hmm. We try anything, email signatures on Zoom. We're trying really, like, on our name tags, we have our pronouns. We want it to be visible. And I think there is a controversy around pronouns and all that shenanigans. But that is one thing we can do as educators. So you're a registered early childhood educator. You're writing, I'm Ally Scott, REC. It's not that much more difficult to put in brackets she/her, they/them. Like, it's a few more letters, people. Like, let's just make this the status quo. And that way it will help people with
it helps trans people too. Like, if you put in your pronouns in your email signature, normalizes it when a trans person does it. So I don't have to, like, actively be doing the work if someone else is already doing the work to break down that barrier.
I think folks, and maybe this will be a question that comes up at Trans 101, but I think there are definitely still folks who are confused by they, them pronouns. Mm-hmm. You use they, them, and he, him. So can you explain when you have both? What does that mean?
So I usually put in my email signature, they, he. And that just means, now this is like a joke within the trans community that I'll use they, them mostly and he, him as a treat.
Okay.
And it just means that like as a trans-masc non-binary person, I mostly use they, them. But if you mistake me as a more masculine person and he, him, me, that is more affirming to me than being she, heard.
Okay.
So honestly, you can't misgender me in any way that matters. You could she, her me and I would be fine. I wouldn't correct you. I wouldn't have an issue. Especially as a trans educator, like I recognize that most people are going to make mistakes with me, and I've made that self-sacrifice and made it part of my career. So yes. You can't misgender me in any way that matters because I know who I am and I'm fine. Within the trans community, there are people who are still figuring out their identity and aren't comfortable with who they are yet and will be defensive if you misgender them. And that comes from a place of like their own insecurity and not understanding where they are yet and knowing where they fall on that gender spectrum.
Right.
And so pronouns to them are really important. And we have to respect that. We have to be okay with that. And if they correct you, know that it's not, it's not the end of the world. Like you did misgender them. Yep. You take accountability. You make note of it for going forward. But like usually the first year after a trans person comes out, when they're not totally comfortable with who they are yet, they haven't really settled, they haven't figured it out. Maybe they're still like, still transitioning and figuring out, like maybe they started as non-binary, but they're like actually more trans-masc and eventually a trans man, whatever that is. They're usually like the first year, a trans person is going to be very defensive. And I was that person. I was an asshole. I actually almost lost my parents over it.
Oh, no.
I was not okay with being misgendered and dead named. And it was just because I hadn't settled into who I was yet.
So we joked about having you back on the podcast. We didn't really realize it was going to be this soon.
I know.
But here you are.
Hello.
Welcome back, Stevie.
Thank you.
Not as lighthearted, this quick little insert here, because we screwed up.
Yep.
And we want to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So previously when I was on, I misspoke. I used some words that were pretty flippant about the trans experience. And I was speaking about my own personal experience, but I missed some context. So it sounded like I was being pretty general about trans experiences, and that was not the case. I think we're inserting this right after the clip.
That's
just
the plan.
For context.
Yep.
So I used some words, specifically one of the words was insecure. And it's again, very flippant way to... It was a generalization of the trans experience that I should not have spoke on. I was speaking about my own personal experience, but it sounded generalized, and I'm here because I want to take accountability for that. We saw some feedback on that video that I don't speak for everyone, and they're right. And I'm here to take accountability, take responsibility for the words that I use and the harm that I caused, and I want to apologize for it and be visible and public about taking responsibility so people know what that looks like, because it's important to me as a safe space and learning to do better that I accept criticism and I accept responsibility for the things that I say and the platform that I have. And yeah, it's important to me that people know that I can take criticism. I want to take criticism. I want to do better. I want to be better. And I also want to accept education without defense. So that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. And in the similar vein, myself as the manager of Strive, I take responsibility for the harm that we cause by posting the clip on social media.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a joint accountability. And I think what is so great about doing this and doing this in live time is we all make mistakes. No one is perfect. But I think this is the part that it's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
It hurts.
It's humbling.
It's humbling. And it can be the reason a lot of people don't engage in conversations.
I completely agree. I feel like a lot of people are scared to make mistakes when talking about marginalized communities, in particular trans communities, and not wanting to make mistakes, people don't engage and don't try. And I never want people to be scared to have the hard conversations. This is what accountability looks like when you make a mistake. And it's important that you try and you make mistakes and you slip up and you take accountability and you learn and you grow from those mistakes. And it's important to know that trans people are not immune to making those mistakes. We all have internalized transphobia. We have our own traumas and complexes, and I make mistakes. I was not always woke. I wasn't always out as a trans person. I didn't always understand what those feelings were. So I didn't always consider myself transgender. And so I'm always learning too.
Well, thank you, because, it is an instance where, although, again, this is always what people talk about, right? The intention wasn't to cause harm. And that's well and good. And we can see that in the rest of the other 45-minute episode. Your intention is not to cause harm.
Of course.
But one slight change in word did.
Impact cause harm. And regardless of intention, the impact cause harm. And I'm not immune to that. And what I say isn't a monolith. And I did cause harm. And so I'm sorry.
Thank you, Stevie. I appreciate you. And I too am sorry. And I am grateful. I'm grateful for you I'm grateful to you for being here in this moment and actioning on this quickly and allowing us to do the same. You were so receptive when we got the feedback and shared it forward. And, we are lifelong learners. We are constantly going to have to try and fail and be humbled and be scared and keep showing up. So we're going to keep showing up.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So dead name, for people who don't know,
Yep.
is your name before you transitioned.
Correct.
And it's called a dead name because it is no longer.
Nope. Actually, dead name is called that because it's the name that people would put on your grave if you, So before it was legal to legally change your name, your dead name is the name that goes on your gravestone.
Because it's what it was on your birth certificate.
Yeah. So that's why it's called a dead name.
Okay. Thank you for teaching me that.
That's okay. A lot of people actually don't know that.
Yeah.
So, and that's like,
I thought it was like, oh, it's dead to me. Like that was my impression.
There are people in the trans community that do feel that way,
Right.
and that's cool. That's for them.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with my dead name, honestly. Like it fit me for a long time. It served me well. I was named after Sammy from Days of Our Lives. So my dead name is Samantha. And
Days of Our Lives. I love that. Was your mom a fan?
Yep. Yep. And my brother's named after Geordie LaForge. So he's Jordan.
I love that.
Yeah. So to me, like I was Samantha for 25 years. So it served me. It I don't have an issue with my dead name, but there are people that don't even want to hear it.
Right.
And that's okay. That's up to individual people. Like trans people have like individuality. Like we're not a monolith, right?
Yeah.
I think that when people hear, trans community, they have one friend who is a trans friend, and then that is like their monolith.
Right.
And like there's so much varied trauma and neurodivergence and so many spectrums within our community that like trans people are individuals.
Absolutely.
And you have to be okay with learning, you know, all of the trans issues, and also understanding that like that's a whole freaking world that you need to unpack. But it's okay not to know as long as you're open to learning about it.
Yeah, I love that. I think there is so much to unpack. Like, we're just scratching the surface.
Yep.
And I think your story and your journey and your vulnerability and your openness is just the most beautiful thing. So thank you so much for just being you and being here and talking about this and continuing these conversations. I think a lot of educators are uncomfortable even engaging in these conversations because they're afraid to make mistakes.
Make mistakes. Do it.
Right?
Make it.
They're afraid to, offend. They're afraid to accidentally step somewhere they shouldn't step. And educators, like you said about the teachers, and I agree with you. I genuinely believe our educators and teachers are here and in this profession because they care about children and their well-being and their sense of belonging. And do we know if every single 2-year-old in my toddler program is going to be trans or is trans? We don't know. Do we know their families that we interact with every day? Maybe, maybe not. And just in order to be the best educators we can be, we need to continue to learn about all the different types of people in this world that we serve, because our community is so diverse and it's something to celebrate. But I think that with that comes a lot of nerves and fear. And, maybe you were raised by parents who like the dad in the schoolyard. And so it feels wrong because that's how you were raised. So I think there is, like we said, learning to do around this, and continuing to have these conversations, continuing to invest in resources and books that enrich our spaces for children. Having these conversations as educators just will do nothing but good for the children of the world.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
I hope so.
So thank you for being here
Absolutely.
today.
Thank you for making space for me to take up space.
I feel like we could take up a lot more space.
Yes, we definitely could.
But if we run a 3-hour podcast, no one will listen. So just stop, quit while we're ahead.
Yeah.
But there's always opportunities to come back and continue these conversations. And maybe after we have the Trans 101 session in March and later this month, I guess, or in March, that we want to revisit it, or maybe something will come up there that you'll think, hey, let's dig into that a bit deeper. And you are always welcome on our lovely green couch in front of a mic, just being wonderful you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. You can connect with us on Instagram at Leading Inspired Learning Pod, or on our website at strive.swo.ca/podcast. I would love to have you tell a friend or colleague about this podcast. Thanks again for listening. Please join us next time.